Greetings, my friends. Thank you so much for being here, because today we pay tribute to the Legend of Zelda. All the Zeldas.
There's so many Zeldas.
Okay, not quite all of them. I am skipping a few, like some of the Game Boy games, Hyrule Warriors, Link's Crossbow Training. I guess you could say I'm just sticking to the big console releases. And even that being said, you might notice I'm also skipping over Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. And I'll tell you why. Because I really want all the pieces of this set to focus on the word Zelda. Obviously, The Adventure of Link focuses on the word Link, so I'm leaving it out. It would look kind of weird in this set, I think. Part of the purpose of this series is to demonstrate how recognizable each individual game's logo can be just using the same word, Zelda. But seriously, I invite you to fill in the gaps of any games that I skipped over if you like. You'll probably be able to make some pretty good logos based on my templates. I'm not going to be going too in-depth on each game because we're making 9 pieces today and I want to keep it moving. I could talk about each one of these games individually for hours. Not today. Another time, definitely, but not today. Also, I'm going to be making the pieces backwards on the board, so we'll be displaying the clean, unironed side of the beads. However, I am going to flip the footage so you guys can watch the logos come together in real time and also have it still be readable. Okay, with all that out of the way, it's dangerous to go alone. Won't you join me on this quest? Naturally, we're going all the way back to the NES and kicking off this series with the original Legend of Zelda. And these pieces are going to be based mostly on the box art of the games. Because this is the first one, they didn't really have the official Zelda logo worked out yet, so it's going to be pretty unique in this set. Of course, the actual box had the upper left square of the crest cut out, teasing the shiny gold cartridge inside. How cool was that? When I was a kid, it reminded me of the hidden Wonka tickets. And I got to break out the gold paint, something I don't use often, but is so vibrant. Now we jump to the Super Nintendo with The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And we finally got the official Zelda logo we know and love. This is still my favorite Zelda game, as it took everything that made the first Zelda great and improved upon it. More items, more combat options, better graphics of course, and an already huge map that doubles when you include the Dark World. Also, Link had pink hair. Never forget. And we're still using that beautiful gold-painted background. Hey, fun fact, this same piece works as the logo for the original release of Link's Awakening. On to the Nintendo 64 with The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This logo featured a 3D rendering of the Hylian shield, which was perfect for the first 3D Zelda game. From exploring all the different terrains to discovering hidden treasures, I was enamored with this open world. Even optional side quests like solving the trading sequence for the Big Goron sword made me want to talk to every character. Trying to catch the biggest fish in the pond was a nice break before trying the water temple again. Jumping back and forth in time to make changes that would affect the future was such a cool game mechanic, and echoed the light and dark worlds of Link to the Past. The iconic music, horse riding, archery games, racing the Running Man, curing that weird Skulltula family, and more made this feel like a true adventure. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. At the time, this was the scariest Zelda game ever, and maybe still is. From Link's horrifying scream as he transforms with each mask, to that big angry moon in the sky slowly getting larger, counting the hours until everyone dies, anxiety rising amidst a constant sense of dread, and then the time loop resets, and you do it all again, learning more of Termina's secrets with every iteration. And I like that we're finally moving away from the shield logos with gold background and starting to get some crazy and unique designs. Check out this canvas. Majora's Mask was a great example of how strange and wonderful Zelda games could be. And maybe this is just me, but I always got kind of a Twin Peaks vibe from this game. You're an outsider going to a small town full of quirky characters where everyone has their own little plot line and secrets you uncover. There's this looming supernatural threat, and the moon is absolutely channeling Killer Bob, right? I mean, look at this. On to the Nintendo GameCube with The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Noted for its distinct cartoon-like style created by cel shading, I remember the aesthetic being a bit divisive among Zelda fans. No doubt why they went super realistic in the upcoming Twilight Princess. But I think it's gotten more and more love over time. Toon Link would basically go on to have his own mini-franchise with the Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. This is one of those games where I don't even need to be solving a puzzle or fighting enemies, just sailing around that big beautiful ocean is fun by itself. Technically the box art went back to that gold background, but I wanted to have a nice aqua blue to keep with the water theme. Almost 20 years after this game's release, and it still makes me want to sail the high seas. So after the cartoony Wind Waker, Nintendo decided to go darker with The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. This game brought us a more realistic style with the return of a feature many players missed, horseback riding. And because of the massive success of the then recent Lord of the Rings films, the developers wanted the fantasy world to feel as massive as Middle-earth, which gave us plenty of space to ride while saving Hyrule from being taken over by the Twilight Realm. The original logo features Link's wolf form, along with Midna's helmet. But I really wanted to focus on the latter with a kind of glowing effect. The foggy gray background represents the eerie darkness of this game, and helps the beadwork really stand out. The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword. Believe it or not, this is the first game of the Zelda timeline, and details Link's quest of actually creating the Master Sword. I also thought it was cool how it retroactively gave a reason for the big red bird, now called Loftwings, on the classic Hylian shield, and because it was on the Nintendo Wii, you actually had to swing the Wiimote around to use your sword. Pretty cool idea, but I must admit, it got kinda tiring after a while. Once again, the box art is gold, but I wanted to go with some clouds to keep with the sky theme. I love the way the bright red letters pop on this one. And finally, we come to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I feel like this game really took the series full circle. Much like the original Legend of Zelda, you're dropped into a strange new world with little instruction, and can explore freely. Dungeons, puzzles, and bosses are yours to solve and battle in any order you please. The world is unstructured and encourages, nay, rewards experimentation, and lets you make the story your own. Oh, and check this out. Because the Master Sword is 3 beads wide, that means the handle would be kind of lopsided on one or the other. So we're going to do a little cheat here, check it out. I'm going to make the handle as a separate piece so we can just glue it right center of the sword. The beads won't line up perfectly, but that's okay, because it's going to look good. Can't really get away with stuff like that in traditional pixel art. Only in the tangible handmade. Pretty simple logo too, just some rustic earth tones on black. And then we have the handle there, pretty sneaky. And now, just to top it off, let's seriously go full circle with the title screen of the very first game. Because the original NES box art was vertical and all the other games were horizontal, I just wanted to have another option for the entire set to look more uniform. Considering this was the pioneer, it really has it all, doesn't it? The Triforce piece, the music, the sword, all surrounded by vines to give you a sense of wilderness and exploration. One could argue that the ultimate golden treasure of the game was the cartridge itself. We've come a long way, haven't we? And what a journey it's been, my friends. Whether we're exploring Hyrule on foot, horseback, sailing the high seas, or soaring the skies, the fun never ends, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store. And truly, it's a testament to how unique and recognizable the artwork for each game is when you can tell them apart just by seeing different styles of the same word. We didn't need to put "The Legend of" text, or even bother with the subtitles. I wanted each piece to just say Zelda. Because really, that says it all. A name that will always be synonymous with high adventure. What a magnificent series that I feel extremely fortunate to have been able to grow up with. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to know which Zelda game is your favorite and why, and what happy memories you have associated with all the titles. Click the link in the description to get all the patterns to make your own. Feel free to create the games that I missed, and I'll see you soon with another batch of new projects.